Okay, the following, alright, find expression for the nth term of the quadratic series. You notice it's not arithmetic or linear series anymore. Now, it's not arithmetic and it's not linear. And I'm going to tell you how you know. In linear series, the gap is always the same, isn't it? Is the gap always the same in this question here? No. That means you're doing a different formula. The new formula you're going to use is Tn equals an squared plus bn plus c. Notice it says n squared. N squared means it's a quadratic series. Now, unlike arithmetic series, a is not the first term. It's not the first term. You get a in a different way. Okay, a no longer stands for the first term when it comes to quadratic series. It is not in your tables. Okay. Next thing, to find out what a is, we do the following. We write down 7, 10, 15, 22, and 31. We get what's called the first difference. The first difference is where we basically get the gap between each one. Now, what do you know about the gaps? 3, 5, 7, 9. What do you think the next one will be? 11. Which means the next value will be 42. Okay? Yes, James.
Is there another formula that, like, let's say on the first difference it goes up by 2 and the second difference?
Okay. What we do next is with this, the red is the first difference. The green is what's called the second difference. The second difference is the difference of the difference. So what's 5 minus 3? 5 minus 3? 2. 7 minus 5? 2. 9 minus 7? 2. 2, 2, 2. 2 is the value of the second difference. Your a value is always half the value of the second difference. Can anybody in class tell me our a value then?
1.
It's going to be a half times 2, which equals 1. Okay, now that you've done that, what I'd like us to do next is, we now know that Tn, our Tn formula here, what can we change a to? Anybody? A is now 1, so now it's n squared, or 1n squared, plus bn plus c. Now, what you need to do next is, you'll always use T1 and T2 for the most part. What does T1 equal? The first term is? The second term is? 10. Now, T1 means replace all n's with 1. T1 equals 1 squared, multiplied by 1, which is still 1, plus b times 1, plus c, that all equals 7. Now you're going to get 1 plus b plus c equals 7. Bring over the 1. Yeah? And you're going to get b plus c equals 6. What is that, guys? It's 1/2 of a simultaneous equation. Okay? You've done T1. What do you do after T1? You gotta do T2. So, to do T2, all you do is replace anywhere you see n, you replace it with 2. It's going to be 1 times 2 squared plus b times 2 plus c equals not 7, it's equal to 10. 4, when you put it into the calculator, plus 2b plus c equals 10. Bring over the 4, it becomes a minus 4. 2b plus c equals 6. Okay, so 2b plus c equals 6. Okay, now, these are our two equations. You always need two equations to make this work. Now you got to do a simultaneous equation. Does anybody remember how to do simultaneous equations? Anybody at all? You write down b plus c equals 6, and you write 2b plus c on top of it.
That mx plus c.
No. What you need to do is, when you add down at the moment, what happens? It becomes 3b plus 2c equals 12. You need one of the letters to disappear. How do you make one of the letters disappear? Multiply that by minus, that by minus, and that by minus. And what happens now? Minus b plus 2b? B. C minus c plus c? 0. Minus 6 plus 6? 0. B therefore equals? But c must equal, if b is 0, what's c?
6.
C is 6. Now, once again, write down your formula. Tn equals an squared plus bn plus c.
I can not find the table.
Okay. Next one. What's a again? We said a is 1. B is 0. And C is 6. Now what does this actually mean? Tn equals n squared plus 6. Let's find out. If I put in T1, what do I get? If I was to write out the first 4 terms, I don't have to. I've already answered the question. It says find an expression for the nth term. Basically find T of n. I found T of n. But let's show you what it actually does. If I put in T equals 1, what happens, guys? I get 1 squared plus 6. What's the answer? If I put T equals 2, what happens? Equals 10. What happens if I put in T equals 3? What do you know about these numbers? What about T4? Are these the numbers we started off the question with? 7, 10, 15, 22. So you're getting an equation that could tell you any number you want without you counting up all the time. So if I ask you for the 20th term, you can't count. You could count all the way up to the 20th term, but it'll take you an absolute age, wouldn't it? So this way you can just find a formula that does it. Okay, so to recap, several stages, right? First stage, get second difference. Get the second difference. Number 2, A equals half the second difference. Okay, part 3, use Tn equals an squared plus bn plus c. Replace in your a value. Put in a value. Not a, but the actual value of a. Question part 4. Use n equals 1 to get Tn. Use n equals 2 to get, use n equals 1 to get T1. Use n equals 2 to get T2. Make, part 5, make a simultaneous equation out of it. Okay. Okay, guys. Okay. How many matchsticks will there be in diagram 4? In diagram 4, there should be 4 on the bottom. Excuse me. There should be 4 on the bottom, 3 up here, and 2 more up there. So, how many matchsticks do they add in? So, the first one has 3. The next one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the next one has 8. And what about the third one? Before I added that in.
Will that be a higher thing though?
There will be actually, Brian, you're right about that. There is a higher thing. Okay, because it actually does get higher, so you're dead right. What about this one here? How many does this have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so this one goes 3, 8, 15. Okay, 3, 8, 15. What's the gap between 3 and 8?
7.
Oh, sorry? What's the gap between 8 and 15?
7.
Okay, what's the gap between 5 and 7? So the second difference is 2, correct? Sorry guys, I'm just going to present that a bit better. I usually don't, I don't present it that way, I present it this way. 3, 8, 15. Then the gap is 5, this gap is 7, and this gap here, which is the difference of the differences, I need a different colour. The difference of the difference is the number 2. Okay, let's figure out what the next one is. Right, 1. The next one we're guessing should be 24, aren't we, Brian? Where'd you get that from?
The calculator.
Sorry?
The calculator.
And the fact that it should go up by 9. The next one should go up by 9. And that maintains your gap of 2. Let's figure out if it is or not. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've added on 9 onto 15, which is 24. So that's me drawing the fourth diagram. That's part 1, that's the fourth diagram. Using the sequence forms, write down the number of matchsticks in diagram 5. Anybody diagram 5?
35.
Add on 11 and you get 35. So the answer to this one is 35. Explain why the sequence is quadratic. Why is the sequence quadratic, lads? The sequence is quadratic because if you will, the differences of the difference. The second difference, so because the second difference, or you could call that the difference of the difference, is constant. What does that mean? It means when I get the first difference, which is 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, when I get the second difference, which is 2 and 2, that value of 2 never changes. In quadratic sequences, the second difference is always constant. It never changes. Is that alright? What about linear systems? Which difference is the same in linear systems or arithmetic series?
It goes up constant.
The first difference, exactly. Okay? Okay guys, that is why the sequence is quadratic, explained in language. Can I get rid of that now? Greg? Stop colouring it. That's on video now, you might get in trouble if your mum looks at the video. Okay, now the next one, alright. Find the expression for the nth term of the sequence. Now what do we say the formula is for the nth term? Let's see if we can do this. Okay, what's my five steps to doing this question again? What's step number 1? Sorry? Get the second difference. Okay, second difference equals 2. What do we do then?
A equals half the second difference.
A equals a half the second difference. A therefore equals 1. What's step 2? Step 2, anybody?
Use the formula.
Use the formula. Tn equals an squared plus bn plus c. What do we know a is? A is 1. Okay. Now, what's step 3? Is there step 3?
Use n equals 1 to get T1.
Use n equals 1 for t1. t1 therefore is 1 squared, yeah? Plus b times 1 plus c. And what is t1? t1 is the number 3. That's t1, that's t2, that's t1, t2, t3, t4, t5. Okay, so this one here is, what did we say it was again? 3. What do we do next? We turn it into 1/2 of a simultaneous equation, yeah? So we're going to get 1 plus b plus c equals 3. Bring over the 1, comes a minus 1. b plus c equals 2. That's 1/2, isn't it? Now we got to get the other half. How do I get the other half, lads?
N equals 2.
N equals 2. t2 equals 2 squared plus b times 2 plus c equals 3. Oh, sorry, not 3. What's the second term again? t2 is 8. The second term in the sequence is 8. Now what happens, guys? t squared is 4 plus 2b plus c equals 8. What do I do now?
Bring the 4 over.
Bring the 4 over. What happens now? 2b plus c equals
4.
8 minus 4, which is 4. Now we have a
Simultaneous equation.
simultaneous equation. Was that number 4? Get the simultaneous equation.
Yeah.
And what's number 5?
No, number 4 will make the like 2 halves of the simultaneous equation, and then
Yeah.
5 is make the simultaneous equation.
Okay, so that's number 4 is completed, which is the 2 purple boxes. Number 5 is complete and solve the simultaneous equation. So it's going to be b plus c equals 2. And then we're going to have 2b plus c equals 4. What do we need to do to solve this, lads? Minus, minus, and minus. And what do I get?
B equals 2.
B equals 2. B is equal to 2, but b plus c equals 2.
The following for TY students, please come to the office line, please.
So b plus c equals 2. Okay, so therefore c equals 0, okay? So c equals 0, because if b is 2, 2 plus c equals 2, c equals 0. Okay, next thing is we rewrite our tn formula and we get an squared plus bn plus c. Now we know that, what's a again? A is
1.
1. So it's going to be n squared. B is 2. So it's n squared plus 2n. Is there any way of checking if this is right or wrong? How would we check if it's right or wrong? Write down what t1 and t2 are. t1 is 1 squared plus 2 times 1. And what's that, Oscar? 1 squared plus 2 times 1.
2.
Is t1 3? Check out t2. 2 squared plus 2 times 2. Is t2 8? Does that mean our equation is correct? It does, it checks out. Now, let's read we did number 4. Use the nth term to find the number of matchsticks in diagram 10. What is diagram 10, lads?
T10.
T10 is 10 squared plus 2 times 10? 120.